We lost everything, and that's where this story begins. When I tell you that life doesn't always happen the way you planned, I know what I'm talking about. The year was 1985. These kids were bouncing off the walls, small. We were living in an apartment, raising a very young family. The family was full of energy, full of life, and we had almost nowhere for them to go out and play and be kids. No yard, no safe place for bikes, just small patio. We were doing everything in our power to change the situation. We were working, saving, planning for our first home. We were getting close to making a change, and then life's direction changed overnight. My son came home from elementary school not feeling well. Low fever, nothing that seemed frightening, but within hours we were rushing him to the emergency room. Spinal meningitis. Those are words no parent ever wants to hear. Because of excellent medical care and more prayers than I can count, my son recovered completely. But while his health was restored, our bank account was not restored. Every dollar we had saved over the years of time was gone. Just like that, the dream of buying our first house vanished. And when you're young and you know you have a family depending on you, that kind of setback was crushing. Around that time, my brother-in-law mentioned Washington State. Beautiful area, more affordable. Maybe it was possible. So I made a decision that made absolutely no sense from a financial standpoint. I got in the truck, completely broke, and drove hundreds of miles with nothing but quiet belief that somehow things could still work out. I drove through the Columbia Gorge, beautiful country, clean small towns that seemed like a place that my young family could grow. My first stop was a small real estate office. I explained to the man sitting at the desk what I was looking for. I needed an affordable home, owner financing, very small down payment. The man just laughed. I wasn't embarrassed or discouraged. I realized I wasn't going to find this house through a realtor. I had skills he didn't understand. I also had a desperate desire to find a place for my family. I drove down every street in town, and then I saw it. A very old house sitting awkwardly in a beautiful neighborhood. Grass 2 feet high, no front door, neglected, unwanted. I felt like the house actually found me. As soon as I saw this house, I just felt like this is going to be my house. It needed lots of work. It was in very rough condition. But for some reason, it was sitting on a brand new foundation. In this beautiful neighborhood, it was the worst house in the block by far. I asked the next door neighbor for the information of the owner, and he was happy to give it to me. He wanted that eyesore repaired or gone. His house was a beautiful home, and he just was tired of looking at it. So he gave me the owner's information, and I made a phone call right away. When I met the owner, he told me that he had grown up in that house, and that the new supermarket and shops in the new area that I had looked at was where that house was. He wouldn't allow the developer to knock it down. Part of the deal was they had to move it, and they had to move it to a nice neighborhood, put it on a new foundation. I asked him what he was asking for the house. He gave me a number. I told him I would accept his offer, but he has to listen to my terms. My terms were no down payment, additional $20,000 check to me so I could repair it and fix it, get it ready to move in. He just smiled. His wife came in and said, there are other offers on this house. The old man just smiled and said, let the others know the house is sold. I think he saw in me himself years earlier. He was a special man, and he helped us get our first house. Looking back, what strikes me most, it's not the financial miracle, but how unlikely the entire chain of events really was. Being nearly broke, making that long drive, finding that exact house, meeting that particular man, it often feels like the house found me. Slowly, word by word, it became a beautiful house. More importantly, it became the center of my family's life. A yard for kids, a sidewalk to a small park, rooms filled with noise, laughter, and memories. And here's the part I really like everyone to remember. When you truly commit to something, not casually wishing for it, but commit, and you refuse to let temporary problems and setbacks define your future, life has a way of presenting opportunities that could have never been predicted. Not because it's easy, but because you stayed in the game long enough for the door to open. I don't promise you life will be simple, but I will promise you this: what feels impossible today may simply be waiting for you to keep moving. What feels like the worst moment of your life may be quietly leading you to somewhere you never expected to go.